Well, this is our study page. We have more than 10 people here. Great. We went through all of these, and we are in on-site interview stage now. Oh, okay. So on-site interview is having like tips, some commonalities with technical phone screen. So yesterday's session already covered some of these, the most technical ones covered in yesterday's session. By the way, I will also share all recordings in a folder. That folder will have 2 years ago recordings as well. We did the same training with participation of other professionals, not like this. It was more interactive. Different people, for example, Mujahid from Google, Osan, again, participated at that time, Ahmed from Meta, they all joined and they shared their experiences for interviews in those sessions. I will share those recordings as well. When you have time, you should also get and watch these recordings. The same material, but different aspects and different experiences you will hear about. Okay, so for on-site interviews, before getting into the technical tips, first of all, I know it is already very low amount of interviews that you can get from companies. There is not that much position. When we created this material, it was 2-3 years ago, and the job market was very open. When it is open, when you have multiple companies that you are interviewing with, for example, when I was looking for a job 3.5 years ago, 4 years ago, when I was joining Notion, I remember a few days, like I had 2 companies, 3 companies in the same day, and I had to lay out all of these. I interviewed with 20-ish companies, filtered out to 5 for on-site, and I targeted myself to these 5 interviews for 5 companies. And then even like during this filtering, I dropped to 3, and I interviewed with 3 companies. So it was very open job market at that point. Now it's not like that, I know. But if this happens, if you have 2 companies in the same day, it's a very bad idea. Don't do that. Schedule the other company and one of these companies to another day, or at least before lunch and after lunch kind of separation. Another tip I would give, which I did for Google and it worked, I got the offer, is doing the on-site interview, like 4 or 5 sessions, splitting them to 2 days. So 2 sessions in one day, 3 sessions in another day. Companies are doing this, no problem. It's good because you don't deplete your energy for rest of the sessions. It is good because if you are working for some other company currently, it doesn't affect your work schedule that much. You can just go in and do 2 interviews, 2 hours, and you don't have to take time off maybe. And also, most importantly, sometimes the first interview or the second interview goes really bad. When this happens, it affects the third one, fourth one, and fifth one. When you have a break, when you sleep on it, and you take the other interviews the other day, it really helps to recover your morale. It really helps recover your engagement and motivation to the interviews. Otherwise, because of the second interview failed, you failed the third one. And if 2 sessions fails, basically you fail, actually. So I have a clear, very clear example that I had myself. I got offer from Google, but in the second interview, like the first day, second interview, I failed. You can't imagine, but like even I didn't have a working solution. I only coded like 5 to 10 lines. I didn't even have a working solution in mind, and I haven't explained. I tried, but I couldn't. I'm not talking about like I couldn't code. I didn't have any solution in the second session. If I entered the third session right after that one, probably I would fail. And even I wouldn't join the fourth one because I would know like I'm failing. But after the second interview session, I didn't take third one in the same day. I scheduled that way actually at the beginning with my recruiter. And I recovered myself to the other day. I just motivated myself. Hey, Erdem, it's just like one session. If you do really well in the remaining 3 sessions, you can still pass this. And this happened actually. My rest of interviews were like decent, not the best. So at least Google told, hey, Erdem, we have mixed signals. Do you want to get 2 more coding rounds? And I said, yes. And we scheduled 2 more coding rounds. So like I had in total 7 rounds actually with Google. 2 more coding rounds. I took like 3-4 days after this. And I also achieved these 2, and then I got the offer. But at the beginning, if I scheduled all these 5 in the same day, after the second interview, probably I would be very, very demotivated and down, and I wouldn't do the third interview actually. So this is an important tip that you should consider. Don't try to push yourself to have in the same day. So this bullet is basically the same as what we covered yesterday here in technical phone screen. Okay, this is basically the same. So I am skipping it, and I will give time for you to ask your questions if you have. Consider each session separate. This is what I explained. Like the second session shouldn't affect the third session badly. It may affect in a good way, but it shouldn't affect it. It shouldn't affect in the bad way. Okay, this is another one. Start with trivial, easy solution. Do not try to come up with the best solution. But yesterday, as you remember, I mentioned something. The easy solution is the brute force solution most of the time, maybe all time. It is okay to mention that solution, but you should ask your interviewer, do they want you to code in that solution, or do they want you to improve your solution to recursive, to dynamic programming, etc.? There is an important point. I mean, this is missing here, but we mentioned this yesterday. But still, do not sacrifice your time to start with the best. For example, you know that this is a dynamic programming question, but you are not able to build the structure of dynamic programming there. Just try to do whatever you are comfortable with. At the end of the day, you have to solve a question. If you don't have a running solution, especially in the current industry, current job market, if you don't have a running solution, you won't pass. I was lucky. They gave me 2 more chances. But if you don't have working solution, even brute force, a dummy one, you won't pass. So keep this in mind. Managing your time. Just reiterating what I said yesterday. Do not engage too much with your interviewer, like in the first few minutes. Sometimes interviewers are eating up your time. I had this example as well with DoorDash. It was technical phone screen. I passed it, but it was very difficult because for the phone screen, the interviewer just started to ask like, what have you done in the weekend? How was your weekend, etc. Very friendly, yes. And It was very good for me because I was nervous at the beginning, but it took my 15-ish minutes, 12-ish minutes. And then we started the question. And the question was medium to hard. And it was very hard for me to meet the 45 minutes time, actually, and deliver question. Like at the end, for example, some edge cases, I didn't cover these edge cases. If I wasn't on site, probably I would fail because the edge cases were not there. It was a phone screen, that's why probably I passed. But if it was an on-site, I wouldn't pass. So be careful. This is your time. This is your time. Think that the interview is a meeting that you manage, not they manage. This is very important. Interviews are meetings that you manage. I have a question from Ömer. Are all 5 sessions coding sessions or some system design? Yes, for sure. It depends on the level that you apply for the company. For Google, my runs were like 1 behavior everyone gets. I had 2 design and 2 coding. This was my runs actually for Google. So with quick intros, you should get into the question. Spend some time to clarify. Even if it is clear, ask a few questions still to engage. Do not assume. Do not assume. This is important. I'm not talking about only the interviews. I'm also talking about your work life. When you start some company and when you are assigned to a task, please do not assume the task. Ask to your manager. I know of Turkish people mostly here and very practical people. They can understand without giving too much context what is asked, but sometimes they may fail a lot. Sometimes they may fail badly because sometimes like the assumptions are not true. And if you start building something on false assumptions, what happens in an interview, let me tell you, since you haven't asked, they notice that you are having false assumptions and they don't correct you. They just wait for 45 minutes for you to fail, actually. I had this example as well in my interviews. I assumed, I implemented, I was thinking that I was successful and I was having a running solution, but then I was failed. I have been told I'm failed. And the reason was I understood something incorrect, actually. On an on-site technical session, how many questions do they ask? This is a good question as well, and this depends as well. So we had, let me show you this part. Know what that company looks for. Google looks for quality. That's why Google asks one question, only one question. And the question is framed in a way that sometimes you start with the easy version of the question, you solve it, and then they make it more complicated and make it medium. Sometimes they ask the medium version of a question, the same question. Like in the first version, for example, you have more levers to pull and make it efficient. They remove some of these if you are successful with the first question, medium one. They add more complexity and they change the question a little bit, and they want you to solve the hard version of that. So it's definitely not from coding from scratch. You have to change the existing code to something else. It's not a new question. It is a harder version of the question. So Google does like that, actually. So they want to see step by step how you evolve your answer and your implementation. But for example, Meta is definitely different. They, in a 45 minutes, they talk with you, they just do a small talk and spend you some time, and they try to know you. It is like semi-behavioral, semi-coding. And in the coding part, sometimes I heard like within 45 minutes and maybe like 40 minutes left, they ask 3 questions, 2 medium, 1 hard. I heard these examples. So this is different. If you talk about Notion, it's just 1 question. 1 session, 1 question. We don't ask lead code. We don't ask lead code. We just want you to step by step implement an application actually from an easy version to a more complicated version in 3 steps, etc. And if you are successful for all these 3 steps, possibly you get a go signal. It depends on the company.
Can I ask you a question at this moment?
Sure.
Okay. So you are asking implementing an application step by step. Do you allow user and interviewer to check ChatGPT or Google something? Or
No. So especially like AI usage is not allowed at this point for my company, I'm saying. Checking Google, we mostly don't, our questions are not like that you can find some information on Google. Like if you forget a function call of Java, it's fine. You can just write the wrong syntax, or like you can just like pseudocode there. Just put some English word there. Actually, it's fine. You don't have to remember. Like Googling wouldn't really help. That's why for my company I'm talking, it doesn't help. So also we don't allow.
Okay.
Sure. So Elif, did I answer your question? How many questions did I ask?
Yes, thank you.
Sure. Let's go back where we left. Okay. Do not forget to have 5 minutes to 10 minutes at the end to validate your answer. Validation is very important. Let's say you have your code here on the page. You should just, like, if this is a 3 question, just draw a sample 3 just next to it. And try to run this sample 3 on your code and see if this is working, it's running. Kind of like debug the example on your code. And this is good also that you can catch some bugs in your implementation. Never get disconnected with the interviewer. Never. So this is important. Anything they tell you are super helpful. Either this is a validation for you, or it is a hint for you. And oftentimes, I mean, in my career, I had maybe like 1,000 debriefs, interview debriefs, even in Notion, more than like a few hundreds probably. Most of the time, getting a hint from interviewer is not a problem. Even you get too many hints and you are successful that way, that's totally fine. But let's say you are successful, you complete your coding, but you didn't get the hints. You are very disconnected from your interviewer, let's say. We fail you. We definitely fail you. Because this means when we hire you, you join the company, when we suggest you something, when we propose you something, some change, you don't get this feedback. You just implement what's in your mind, actually. It's a very, very bad signal, very big red flag, actually. So whatever they tell you, pay attention, try to confirm, try to understand, and engage with the interviewer. Interviewers never mislead you because they are programmed to success, to make you successful for the interview. This is their job. They never tell something incorrect. They don't do this test. You remember the video, the YouTube video yesterday we watched? It doesn't happen in the real interviews. They never tell something incorrect. If they don't know, or if they know incorrect, they may do. They may do. But it's not intentional. They don't know the topic. You are better in this topic, probably. They don't know. They are failing. They know incorrect. But it's not to mislead you. It is not intentional. Don't forget. And don't be in a conflict in that case. Just say, okay, try to align with them and find a common ground actually in between. But do not offend them. Do not try to overcorrect them. You can still correct them. You can say, I think this is not working like that. It's working like this function, for example. You can just say, tell this. But if they insist, just step back. You don't have to correct the interviewer in an interview session. It's not your job. Okay? Okay, these are very important. I know maybe you are judging me that I'm talking about all like behavioral things for on-site interviews, and you are looking for maybe like more technical direction from me. I won't talk about these technical. We talked about these technical things in yesterday's session. Actually, how you validate your assumption, how you get hints, how you evaluate your evolve your solution from the basic one to hard one. This is something different, but I want to emphasize these are very important. And if we see these red flags in Notion, before Notion and eHealth, before eHealth and Vida, I did all the same. If I see one of these, I just fail that interview. I don't give a yes. Even you have a complete solution, it doesn't matter. There are many people outside who can solve the question already, but there are very less amount of people in the industry having good culture, humble, smart, not arrogant. I'm looking for those people. So anger, you shouldn't be angry. You can be nervous. It's okay to be nervous. And interviewer's job is helping you to be more relaxed, actually. It's totally fine. Actually, some level of nervous and stress is also good because it opens up your creativity during the interview. Too much nervousness and stress for sure will block you. You should manage that. Blaming others. They will ask you questions like, can you explain me a failed project, for example? While explaining this failed project, if you even imply that it's failed by someone in my team, and even if it is correct, it's a very bad signal. I definitely suggest you to select an example that you failed. This is very important, that you failed. Because when you select an example that you failed, you can also follow up with that and talk about your learnings. After these learnings, talk about how you grow yourself. These are very good signals. Like you flipped a very, very negative question to a very positive thing, what we are looking for. Negativity is not blaming, but some people, if while they are talking about their companies, even for very decent things, they talk very negatively, actually. This is also a very bad sign, because managers, us, cannot create positive environment always. Not getting feedback. So sometimes the feedback is false, it's wrong, but still you should get this feedback. When your interviewer tells something to you, just acknowledge and tell you understand that is another way of an implementation, but I started this way. Would you mind if I continue my way? Kind of a question you can ask and continue your way. That's totally fine. But you should listen to feedback and you should acknowledge the feedback. Tell them that you acknowledge. These are the important things that you need to. Using too many buzzwords, walking around the problem, but actually not saying anything valuable is also another big red flag. This is not for coding interviews, but in system design interviews, this happens a lot, actually. Just today, I'm trying to hire a senior engineer, and one of the engineers, one of the candidates today, very strong, was just, we declined, just because their system design was very complex, very, very complex, because they tried to use whatever technology that they used in the past in a single system design. It doesn't make sense. You don't need to put all of these. And also, like, if someone is overcomplicating something, probably they don't know that really well, actually. Being too opinionated is another very big red flag. You may know, for example, QA engineers here. Selenium versus Playwright. Any thoughts? Or software engineers, typed languages versus untyped languages. These are kind of like big debates in the industry. You may be comfortable with one of these, but like, don't be opinionated. You may have a preference. You should have a preference, actually, and you should talk about your preference, but you shouldn't be opinionated. And also, don't forget, if you have time at the end, mostly like interviewers try to give you some time at the end. If this is a 1 hour session, for example, in the last 5 minutes or 10 minutes in Notion, we do this for every interview. You should ask some smart questions. Questions that you ask will make a very good implication in your interviewer's mind. Think that your interview is just in between. At the end of 50 minutes, you implemented something, but not the best way, or you got lots of hints, and that way you were able to achieve. In the last 10 minutes, if you ask really, really important and curated questions for the company, like questions related to company, not like very general questions, related to that company and the specific role, then your interviewer will just like think, oh, this guy is really like want to get into this role. This guy cares about our company. And they will consider positively. I do this. That's why I'm saying, like, I interview 3 times, in average 2 or 3 times a week, actually. So I've been working for 20 years. So I do this all the time. If a candidate is asking really good questions, I evaluate very positively. If you have time, ask a feedback at the end of the interview. This is also a very good attitude that it shows like you always strive for feedback. But this is not a must. Like these last 2 are not a must. it's a very strong nice to have, I would say. I won't talk about negotiation onboarding. You can just come here and just read these sections. Also, for behavioral questions, we have some more material, STAR methods, and some hints about STAR. These are secondary important things. I don't want to mention those today in this session. We have 15 minutes left. I don't want to get into a new topic. I just want to answer questions, and if any of you want to discuss any of your experience with a company in an interview and let others know, this time is for that. Anyone wants to unmute themselves and talk? Any questions you have?
Can I ask a question about not this section, but the previous sections? Because I did see, and I don't know how can I find the recordings. So I checked the Discord, but I couldn't find the link to the recording.
The recordings?
Yes, the first section.
Okay, so let me show you something. I will send a link to this page on Discord. So Bootcamp Summer 25, Session 2, Session 3 recordings are here. Session 4 is currently happening. I will also put here. And if you open Session 3, let me change my tab. It opens a summary of the session with a recording link. Okay, you can just go and watch. Session 1 doesn't have recording because we forget to start recording, but I have good news for you. We did the same training actually in the past in a more detailed way, like it was around like 6-7 hours probably, in different days, and it's per topic: how you apply, how you do job search, recruiter calls, technical phone screen and take-home assignment, and on-site interview. All these sections are in different recordings. You should go and check these recordings. I even remember like there were some examples, some real life stories from our members they shared during these sessions, because these sessions were not like training, it was more like a panel actually. Different people mentioned about their experiences. I remember Osam was there from Fortinet, Mujahid from Google, Tassim from Samsung. They were there. And they shared their experiences with interviews. I will share both.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
I think we didn't discuss before. If we did, I'm sorry to ask you this question. So, how is there a good source to prepare data structures and algorithm interviews? So, is a structured path. Almost all people say just go to LeetCode and check the and try first, spend 15 minutes. If you can solve, check the editorial notes, get LeetCode Premium if you want to have more solutions. So, but it doesn't work for me.
Okay. let me check something, by the way. I see some pages I'm not seeing. Interview helper. Prepared software engineering. Okay. I think we haven't prepared the material yet. Like what you explained is correct. For software interviews, LeetCode, and a few more resources we have. I can study on these, and we'll share with you guys some materials. But it's basically like LeetCode is still very dominant in the industry. For system design, there are a few new system design resources. We can also share these with you.
Yes, for system design, I know Hello Interview, but that's all. And I know one more. It's Fahim, the founder name, but I forgot the education.
Educative is one, and Alex Zhu's system interview, system design, that book and like materials are also good. But also there are some very good YouTube channels for both coding and system design. I can also share the channels that I follow. I had all these in a list 3-4 years ago when I was preparing. I didn't update that, but we can do a pass and do an update, and I can share with all members here.
Okay, thank you. That would be very helpful for us.
Sure. Oh, this is also good. This is really good. Oh, okay, I remember that I created this one with friends. Yeah. I see one other comment. Let me check. I'm wondering, do you have any solid, good, smart question example you get at the end of the interview? Even if I search the company, I think I couldn't ask smart related questions related to the product or the company. I can talk about my domain. I am supporting developer experience. So my team's duty is helping Notion developers, the developers working in Notion. My customers are Notion developers. So if someone comes in, for example, interview and for this role and just says, what is our goal for CI, for example? Do we have any mandate for engineers to merge their PRs in X minutes, etc.? From this kind of a question, I just think that this person is customer oriented, because asking if we have a mandate, if we have a goal to serve Notion engineers. Secondly, this person is aware of like what kind of asks, demands coming from engineers mostly. So they have a good understanding of developer experience. So whatever the domain is, you should ask closer questions to that domain. I can't find examples on hypothetical examples or example questions right now. But if you, for example, give me the company and the role name, I'm happy to try to curate. Even I can say, just get the job post, put in ChatGPT, and just say, can you find, I'm a candidate, will interview for this role, give some context. And at the end of my session, in the technical session, I want to ask some smart questions for this company. What questions should I ask? I'm sure that ChatGPT will give you, or like Gemini, will give you some good questions, actually. Leverage AI. But if you want me to give examples, you can also send on Discord to me directly the role, and I can explain my thought process, how I find this this smart question, for example, how I read the job post, where do I try to, because in every job post there are some bulky places talking about the company or the team. They put in all the roles actually, but there are also some very targeted few bullets, very important about the role. You should find these bullets and you should be able to ideate further questions around these bullets actually. This is the important part actually.
Ask one more question.
Sure.
So you are working at Notion. So Notion tried to become actually it's now AI native company. So and you are an important part of this AI company. Maybe you are managing an AI team. Maybe just assume. So uh,
AI
as a,
inside the company, I'm doing that transformation. I'm also managing AI DevX. So I am replacing Notion developers with AI agents actually, unfortunately.
oh yes, I was going to the same question.
I noticed. I
Question.
noticed what you would ask.
Yeah, yeah. So my question is about, so I have a data science degree, master degree, but you know, it's doesn't matter these days because everyone can get some degrees at some point. So my question is that I'm a software engineer. My level is lead engineer, maybe manager something now. So and I use some AI systems, like I created RAG system, retrieval augmented generation. I know how to implement, chunk, and embed and vectorize the data and query them, creating agents, governance, guardrails, and some kind of tools. But there is other side of the LLMs. They fine tune the models and create data sets, and they do a lot of statistic and machine learning algorithms. So I am the applied, you know, as a software engineer, I apply these tools to my company to get some solutions for solving the real world problems. They solve and improve the LLMs. So at this point, if you hire an engineer, so which engineer is more suitable for the AI jobs in Notion and in general? I understand the question. The answer is clear, maybe, but I am just thinking to understand if a Stanford graduate student, you know, applied the Notion and he or she did a lot of job to create LLMs, fine tuning, and this part. Another Stanford engineer just work on lead coding and real world Google implementing maybe a search engine, something at Google, you know, which engineer is more suitable for the AI position at Notion now?
Okay. It's a very good question, by the way. So there is a Notion AI function. It's totally different function. It's a big function. You know, this Notion AI product just launched the 3.0 version. I'm not that one. So I need to ask this to share. But for AI DevX, I would say the person who did LLMs, hard algorithms on AI, etc., I don't care. Because AI DevX, my roles in my company, it's more like the user of AI. It's not like the under the hood part of the AI that we do. So I don't want to have an over technical machine learning engineer in my team. I care more about like the business capability, which my business is developer experience actually. So if a person have decent knowledge on AI, but good experience and developer experience, I would prefer that one. But for AI teams, it might be a different story. AI teams, especially if the company is not like playing with AI, but doing some really serious things with AI, like Notion is doing today, then a person who has LLM kind of or machine learning in their past would be very valuable actually. And there are examples that we hire that way. But these positions are not too many, by the way. I would just want to emphasize because like there are some core AI companies like think about OpenAI or Anthropic. These are core AI companies, or Google's AI team, LLM team. But also, like there are some companies on top of these and using AI, using these services. Actually, Notion is one of these. Notion doesn't have an AI engine, a true, real, independent AI engine. We still use one of these models out there, actually. So for many companies like Notion, actually, you don't need to hire that deep technical people, that many, actually. I'm not sure if this is answering your question, but
Yeah, it's absolutely a good answer. So how do you evaluate an engineer's AI knowledge, implementation knowledge? As you say, we use AI as a wrapper. We put tons of technology, but at the end of the day, we are relying on the
yeah.
AI LLM endpoint. So how can I show my knowledge about AI to maybe get a resume review, maybe the first interview, behavioral part, or you got my point. How can I show my knowledge?
So talking about my team, I'm not looking for that experience. And I am sure if I hire a good engineer, they can learn using AI. Even they don't have AI experience, they can learn using AI. Yeah, that's like that. I recently hired 4 engineers, and I have never talked them about like how capable they are using AI actually. But they are smart enough to learn something new, and they can do that. So this was my criteria. If you have AI capacity, if you have AI skills in your wallet, in your resume, and you want to show that, it's a different story that I don't know.
Actually, to be honest, I am disagree with you at this point because I've been using not only LLMs, working on the RAG for production grade solutions. So almost every day there is another tool um, is appearing around, such as new documentation, under some tool to read PDFs, analyze the PDFs, reading the markdown files better. Another embedding models work on
Mhm.
some solutions better, such as codes chunking, something better solutions for embeddings. So I think an engineer can learn it, but this is a patient. You must follow the Twitter articles from Anthropic, Meta, Fair, and Google's article, reading articles about and following the benchmarks and trying on them on your local and some GPUs, maybe you deploy on the GPUs, because my friend was the manager of the Amazon Titan team. So he said this is a art, not a straightforward solution. And I've learned from him so much. And this is what I think. You can be a very genius, smart, but at the end of the day, you must follow the what is the LLM and this word goes, and you must follow it every day. So if let's say you give a task to, there is code chunking on the Notion page. Maybe this code read this LLM reg system read the code from the Notion page and put it in a search engine, a vector search. So in a regular guy, just go to the Google Gemini or OpenAI embedding, find this, just embed it. And because this is when you read the documentation on the internet or the Google or everywhere, there is some, the popular tools is the looks very good and straightforward solution, but it's not like that, because they are very expensive, because you're going to chunk billions of lines of code.
Yeah.
So you must optimize it, and there is no straightforward solution. You must have some experience on that, and to get that experience, you must do something. You must be hands dirty, actually. So, and this is my point. Yeah.
Yeah. If you're talking about Notion AI team, definitely there needs to be many people, because that team is building the AI component of Notion. But if you're talking about using AI for developer experience, my point is, the engineers that I hire, they don't do a simple Google search and find the first tutorial and just implement those kind of people. There is a process in Notion to start a new design and a project. So you create an RFC first. It takes around 2 weeks, an extensive research that you do. After that, some subject matter experts give comments, feedback to your RFC. It's another 2 weeks. So around 4 weeks, we seek truth, and then we start the implementation. So I'm very comfortable that someone else, even if this engineer couldn't find the right thing, someone else will help and find it. It will be an overhead if you hire someone with extensive LLM experience to a developer experience team. You can hire to Notion AI function, but for developer experience, it wouldn't make more sense, actually. That was my point. And it depends on company to company, team to team, and different stages of the team. If you have more senior people, if you have less senior people, it totally depends, Alican, actually. So I don't think we have a conflict at this. It is more situational, actually. You evaluate and you hire. But most likely, I wouldn't hire an extensive knowledge LLM expert to a developer experience team.
Thank you.
Sure. Any other questions? We are over time, by the way. So I will accept questions on Discord if you have on the channel. I will share survey. I will share the recordings. Survey for the entire program. I need your responses, please. I see 15 people right now in this. I want at least 15 response in the survey. Please fill this out and help the next cohort of people who will join this program. If you fill this survey, you help those guys, actually. You pay back this way. We are not asking any money for these programs. It's just free, but the feedback is the most valuable thing we can get from you. This is one thing. The second, I will share all recordings with you and any other materials I could find and put into the Discord channel. Please check this Discord channel in the next few days.
I asked my question in the chat, but do you want me to ask it in Discord, or could you
Oh.
please?
Let me quickly answer. Do hiring managers have opinions about the team we would be working when we have the offer? Or the team of the candidate is decided later? It depends on the company and the industry. Currently, almost all companies are hiring for a specific roles. In the past, there were some pool hiring, like for Google, for Meta, you were just like interviewing for a pool, you were accepted, and then you match with a team. Now it's a bit different, actually. There is a role, and they interview you against that role. For Notion, it's always like that. There is a role, they interview against that role.
So you are saying even in the phone interview, we would know the team,
Yes.
so we can ask about. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Try to learn. If you don't know, just ask and try to learn which team you're interviewing for. And most of the time, like the role has a role definition, job post, and in the job post, you will have some idea about what this is about. Cool. Thank you very much. Thanks for joining, attending, and staying with me more than 1 hour. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.